Welcome back, Smashers. It's Jansen here, back with a brand new Amazon FBA video. Now this week, I'm a bit nervous about this week, guys, because I'm going to be discussing a bit of a touchy subject, and that is courses. Amazon FBA courses is a topic that you're either in or you're out. It kind of divides opinion massively. Some people really think that 100% you do not need to do a course. If you do a course, you're wasting your money. Whereas other people see the value in doing a course, see the value of having a mentor or a guide. And for that reason, in the group, so in the Amazon FBA Smashers group, there's usually a lot of discussion about this, which really divides opinion. So I thought it would be a good idea to discuss this with you guys. I'd be really interested actually to hear your views in the comments section below, whether you've bought a course before, whether you're considering it, whether you've done Amazon FBA without doing a course. I'd be really keen to hear from you. But in this video, I'd like to kind of talk about the reasons that I think you shouldn't do a course. And then I'm going to finish off with my own opinion. I'm well aware that this video will probably get downvoted into oblivion, but you know what? I think it needs to be said about the value a course can or cannot provide. So before we do get into it, guys, if you do enjoy this video or anything else on the channel, please do remember to subscribe. So let's get into the video. Okay, so let's start off with the first reason why I think that it's not necessary to do an Amazon FBA course. The first one is if you have lots of free time, whether that be because you don't have a job at the moment or whether you have a job but the hours aren't too bad. In that case, I think that a course might not be necessary. The reason for that is that there is absolutely tons of information online in the form of video tutorials on YouTube and like ebooks and like journals. There's so much information online and guides of how to do Amazon FBA. The one gating factor, the thing that stops you from being able to do it easily if you do have a job, is the fact that it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to find the most up-to-date videos and find like what videos to watch in the first place. And that's actually the reason that I decided to do a course. You know, initially I was thinking Amazon FBA can't be that hard. I've got a background in finance. I know how to run a business, all things like that. But the thing that actually made me go ahead and purchase a course was the fact that I just did not have the time to like find how to do it, find the latest videos and find the latest pieces of information. I just didn't have the time to find out how to do that myself. I found that I was getting home from work and I was too tired to actually start watching tutorial videos that I'd eventually found on YouTube. And at weekends, I found that I was too busy. I was out seeing friends, or I was just busy, you know, doing like various life events. So that was one of the main reasons that I decided to take a course, was just the fact that I did not have the time to dedicate to finding out how to do it all by myself. So that is a key reason, I'd say, of not doing an Amazon FBA course, is if you have a ton of spare time and you're able to really dedicate that time to learning how to do it all by yourself. So another reason that might give you comfort over the fact that you don't need to do an Amazon FBA course is if you have experience and an understanding of how business, finance and e-commerce work. So for me, for example, my background is actually in banking and finance, and I have sold online before. So I think having that understanding there initially did really help me to kind of pick up things like return on investment, profit margins, what 3D renders were, how to market a product, all things like that. So I'd say that definitely kind of helped me to learn a lot quicker when I was doing my Amazon FBA journey, even though I did do a course. So I'd say that if you have got that understanding there already, and you can of course dedicate the time to learning the rest about Amazon FBA, then that should give you a bit more comfort that not doing an Amazon FBA course is actually an okay decision to make. However, like just as an example, I do have a number of students on my course who were quite confident in how to do like product research and just like how to create a listing and things like that, things that they picked up on YouTube. But The areas that they weren't so confident on were things like calculating what an acceptable profit margin is, calculating their actual return on investment, and just like lots of like terminology that you might only find in the online selling world. So like maybe a 3D render. So I had a student of mine email me just with no idea about what a 3D render was, or the fact that you could even do that to make your listing look like incredible. So it's things like that. If you are well versed in like how to make a product look good, how to find a good product in terms of like profit margins and things like that, and you're relatively like quite independent in terms of those areas, then I think that should give you comfort and confidence that you don't need to do an Amazon FBA course. Now, one big benefit of doing an Amazon FBA course is that typically you get access to somebody that has a lot of selling experience in terms of Amazon FBA and knows what they're talking to. So you get an Amazon FBA consultant, a mentor, a coach, whatever you want to call them. Now, that is not going to be beneficial to you if you are somebody that is very independent and you're somebody that is able to learn just like by themselves and you're happy to make mistakes and learn from them. That's not going to be beneficial to you whatsoever if you're that type of person. Now, a lot of people don't really realize this, but when you buy an Amazon FBA course, what you are really buying is the access to this mentor, to this person that's got thousands of hours of experience, and they know, what to do when things goes wrong, or they know, like all about the latest changes with Amazon FBA. Like in reality, when you pay the money for a course, I'd say it's probably like 10 to 20% of the actual purchase price is really going to those tutorial videos. The rest is going to the fact that you're paying for that mentor's time to answer questions and answer, any issues that you might have. So if you're somebody that's not going to be making use of that, if you're someone that's just like, I'm quite happy just to like learn how to do Amazon FBA and just like basically make mistakes myself and just figure it out myself, then that is a reason that you don't need to do Amazon FBA. You don't need to do an Amazon FBA course, sorry. So just to kind of put into perspective how useful people like my students find it having me, I'm just going to show you like a quick conversation history that I've got with people on Messenger. So with my students, for example, I just say to me, just message me on Facebook if you've got any questions at all. And I'm going to show you quickly now, just have a quick skim through. You can see how much or how many times people message me asking questions. So if you're one of those people that is just not going to do that whatsoever, then I think doing an Amazon FBA course might not be necessary. So just as an example as to how much like my students message me, for example, and really get their money's worth in terms of access to somebody with a lot of experience with Amazon FBA, here is a conversation I'm currently having with a student of mine. I'm going to blur out their personal details and bits of the conversation for obvious reasons, but the date today is the 10th of November, and then look, we're just going to scroll through the whole conversation history, which is essentially just him asking questions to me and me like replying with like what to do best with Amazon FBA. So we're scrolling here, he's asking like thoughts on like the product and like his logo and things like that. And let's just have a look now. So I think the conversation, so he started on the 29th of August. In fact, this is when he bought it. He said, just got back from work, your course is really good. 30th of August. And you can see how much conversation we've been having there, toing and froing, like, bouncing ideas off each other, me just like generally helping him. So I'd say that is a key reason that you should not be doing a course if you're not going to be making use of things like that. If you're not going to be messaging the mentor, the consultant, the guide to like learn and improve, if you're very independent and you're able to, or you're just one of those people that just prefers to get on with it by themselves and like learn from your own mistakes, then that is a key reason that you should take confidence and comfort over the fact that you don't need to do an Amazon FBA course. So those for me, guys, are the three main reasons that you don't need to do a course, or that you shouldn't do a course. If you've got loads of time, you've got loads of free time to dedicate to learning how to do it yourself, whether that be in the evenings or at the weekends, whether you've already got a background in business, finance and e-commerce, so you're able to pick up the rest of like Amazon FBA very, very quickly. And finally, if you're very independent and you're able to like just learn by yourself, you don't mind making mistakes, and you're not going to make use of the access to somebody with lots of experience and like knowledge of how to do things. So those are the reasons not to. Now you can probably guess the reasons that you should. Well, in my opinion, so the reason that I did a course, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, is because I just didn't have the time to be able to commit to learning how to do it all by myself. And in addition to that, I just like wanted somebody like on standby to be able to answer my questions. I'm a very inquisitive person. I like knowing, asking questions and finding out the answers immediately. So those were my reasons. Now, for whatever reason, guys, like just the word course, like Amazon FBA course, seems to send people into like septic shock, and you get a lot of hatred. Like this video is probably going to get a load of downvotes just because I'm like talking about a course, and I just don't understand why. Like I have done pretty well with Amazon FBA. Like I've generated like, you know, nearly £250,000 worth of revenue on Amazon FBA. I've got a background in business and finance, and I had selling experience through like eBay growing up. But I still decided to do a course, and I do put a lot of I put a lot of weight down to the fact that I did a course lead to my success. And I just don't really get it, the fact that people just hate anybody that's done a course or anybody that's selling a course. So I'd love to know your opinion here, guys, on what you think. For me, I think doing a course is like wanting to get strong, for example. Like, of course, if you want to get strong, you can like watch YouTube videos on what exercises to do. You can join a gym, like you can just do it all by yourself, right? But if you get a personal trainer, somebody that knows exactly what they're doing, like they can advise you on what things best to eat, they can advise you on how to like perform various techniques effectively. Well, do you know what's going to happen? You're going to get to your result, you're going to get to your target objective a lot quicker, and you're going to find yourself doing it in the safest way, so you're not going to be making mistakes and getting injured, and you're just going to basically get to the point that you want to be way quicker than you had without doing it. So probably a bit of a weird example there, but that's exactly how I think of like buying an Amazon FBA course. And I really wish that other people would think of it like that as well. As mentioned in the Amazon FBA Smashers group, there's like a great divide of opinion of it. And some people, as soon as they say they've done a course, start jumping down people's throats, being like, why are you doing a course? You can do it for free, etc, etc. So I'm really hoping that this video now, when people post about whether to do a course, I'm going to post it, and I really hope that it does like kind of make people realize the benefits of doing a course. So anyway, guys, that's it for this week. Next week, I'll be back with a brand new Amazon FBA tutorial. So if that's the sort of thing that you're looking for, please do remember to subscribe, and I will see you then.